Hi everyone. Going to have our guest in here in a second.
Also, you should put a push to talk, because your background noise sometimes starts.
Yeah.
Also, you should probably invite also Sub and Murky and Shiro and Cobra.
So, hi Ulf.
Hi there. You hear me okay? Or?
We can hear you fine.
You can hear fine.
Awesome.
Just gonna wait until I am actually in game to lower down the game volume a bit, but other than that, you're sounding loud and clear.
Cool.
I can't seem to add Simon for some reason. Ulf, do you think you
I'll
could
try.
do that?
I'll try.
Awesome.
Yeah.
He's right there, but his name won't show up. Murky, you said, right? Murky isn't on Skype.
Well, then Julian and
Julian, yeah, I'll just...
Shiro is gonna be doing the questions.
Sub is in. Simon's in. So, hi Simon.
Hello.
We're kinda hearing you a bit low. Hey, there you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear now.
Nice.
So how's the streaming going? You had a good night so far, or evening,
yeah.
or day, or whatever it is?
I'm just 1 hour behind you, so it's not that bad yet. But yeah,
Cool.
it's going really good. The time we've been streaming, we already got over 3K, so that's really good. But,
We're also doubling. Our partners at the Republic of Tea are sponsoring us and doubling that to 6. So that's really nice of them.
Cool.
Alright, so hello, I am Thomas. I'm going to be interviewing you guys, asking questions. So that's what's going down today. Thank you for coming by the way. It's great that you guys have decided to spend time with us.
I'm going to have to cut you off, Tom, and ask Appo if he can get in Murky, Sub, and Cobra because they don't... My Skype doesn't seem to be cooperating.
We're professionals.
We are. Generally.
Generally. It's okay. It's always a hassle in the beginning to get this started.
and also, I only have Cobra. I don't think Murky or Sub is using the same account. But yeah.
While we're waiting,
Yeah, we need to...
yeah. So, this is for Ulf. What is your favorite part about game development? Where does it start for you?
I guess it always starts with some sort of vision of some game I want to make. I have about maybe one each other day, so like 150 at least a year, and then I just pick one of those, I guess. So it's just a constant hailstorm of game ideas, which also makes it very tricky to stay focused sometimes because you always have something cooler in your head. But the favorite part, I think, is prototyping. Prototyping is really fun, like to get nailing gameplay and okay, so a successful prototype, because a bad prototype is really something horrific. But usually you can always make anything fun just as long as you spend enough time in prototype, I think. So yeah, I would say prototyping is my favorite.
All right, Simon, how is it working with Overkill when you're a freelancer, and how was it before? What are the biggest changes since leaving the company, and what is it like when it comes to composing the game? I mean, music for the game.
Well, biggest change is that I can pick and choose a lot of things. I can decide whether I want to do something or not. I can decide when I work on it, what time of the day, what days of the week. So it's a lot more flexible for me. I can work from home. But otherwise, I mean, I use the same software. I do music in the same style. Everything is the same, really. So and Payday's still the same game, and I know it inside out. You know, the style of music that fits the game. So that's pretty straightforward in all other senses. What was the other part of the question?
Um, what are the biggest changes since leaving the company? I think you answered the question pretty good.
Okay, cool.
So this one's for Ulf. And what previously released game, or what game till date, have you most enjoyed making or being a part of in some manner, shape, or form?
I'd say Payday 1 was a very good experience, like a great experience in general. The concept and the prototyping we did for Final Fantasy was really fun. And then, of course, I've got a bunch of games that have fond memories of, like Bionic Commando prototype also was really awesome. Game sucked, I think. Yeah, but like the most complete experience from start to finish, I think, is Payday 1. That was a really good experience in general. Making something from nothing, basically, and succeeding at it.
Payday the Heist was really a great game, and
Yeah, but not only that, I also like the team and sort of the spirit we had and the culture we had, and everything was really very positive, I think, for the most part. I mean, it's a lot of hard work and a lot of long hours sort of corrupts anything, I think, and makes it sort of stressful. But in general, I think it was a very cool experience. Also because it's, I mean, your own. I hadn't worked on something of my own since, I think, our first game, Ballistics, back in, What was that, Simon? 2000 and
2000, 2001.
yeah, okay. So our first game basically. So that
But
was a late hit.
Bandit was an original IP as well.
It was, but we had a publisher sort of not calling the shots really, but we had to interface with somebody else a lot more, and I think it was that project was a bit troubled too in comparison. I mean, or we were a bit troubled. I don't know which one, but I think yeah. But that's true. It was fairly original too. But I think we had a great time on Payday 1 actually. Payday 2 wasn't half bad. It's just that it had turned into a different type of company basically. So different type of experience, you could say.
Of course. Shiro?
Alright, so how far ahead of time are you informed when they need a new heist track? Simon?
Usually a month and a half, maybe, in advance. Could be less sometimes, though.
Okay.
It's been in the culture ever since since we founded Overkill to be. It's a strength and a weakness, you know. But it's a little bit shooting from the hip, and not everything is planned, you know. So sometimes they decide to make like a community event, do some trailer or something, just a day before it's supposed to be released or something. Obviously not a heist, you know, because designing a heist and doing, you know, the level design and the music for that takes a lot of time. But something like, you know, the I guess I can reveal the fact that the Pokemon April Fool's joke from last year, that was, I don't know if that had been in the planning for longer, but I heard about it one day before it was supposed to go live, the website. For anyone who doesn't know what it's about, we were gonna imply that Ash Ketchum from Pokemon, the main character from Pokemon, was gonna become a playable character in Payday 2. So I did the music that day, the day before it was supposed to be released, or rather, they told me to do the music and I did it. And then the next day I came to work and I had worked like that night to create it, and the website went live on the 1st of April. So that was really like, sometimes you do stuff, you know, really on the fly like that.
Alright, well that sums that question up. Now it's your turn, Faded.
Awesome. So, Ulf, something we've all wanted to know, and we see those amazing tweets and little snippets, but what is an average day at Town Chambers like for you?
For me, depends. Sometimes I work from home, so I'm actually not in the office. I'm just gonna be drinking coffee and programming basically. But if I'm in the office, it's more design oriented. Like I don't do a lot of programming or art or anything like that at the actual office. It's more like coordinating or having meetings or talking about issues to solve or whatever. We do a lot of designing groups or discuss a lot of stuff. So that's, I think, a normal day for me. Is coming in, you know, as early as I can, and then have meetings all day, basically. Talk and talk and talk till my ears fall off, and then head back home. And then I do a lot of, you know, programming if I'm home. Normally I might come home around, you know, 6, have dinner and spend some time with my family, and then start working again around 9 or 10. And then I work till like maybe on an average maybe 2 o'clock. Yeah, and then up again at 7.
Wow.
So that's the loop I'm in. But it's a good. I work way less than I used to, so it's cool.
Passing it over to Shiro.
All right. So, Simon, what are you doing at 10 Chambers Collective, and what's it like being the 10th member?
It's cool to be the 10th member. I mean, my member number is in the logo, pretty much. I didn't realize that until I saw the website. Like it's like 10chambers.com/member10 or something like that. I was like, I'm number 10. That's pretty cool. But my involvement have been kind of on and off for a little while. So it's I mean, it hasn't been official until now, and it's been rather what's the word I'm looking for? Ulf, help me out. Sporadic.
Sporadic and
Yes.
and fairly
when
short. Like we haven't worked much. We just started work basically.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't like, you know, I haven't been a part like financially or with contracts or anything like that. It's just been I've been a friend of everyone in the studio, and I've been dropping by, and so we've been bouncing ideas around like with about the music and about the game design and stuff like that. But it hasn't gotten serious until just now. So I can't really say how it's look because I haven't spent enough days to actually have a like a routine or anything. But I'm gonna help out with mainly with music and I think game design and documentation, and maybe down the line some community interaction stuff. Like it's a small studio, just like Overkill was in the beginning. So everyone's gonna have to wear different hats, which is part of what makes it fun.
And don't forget the story work you're going to be doing. Simon and me is right now in the story as it is for the game, and I think you're going to spend some time on dialogue also, writing a lot of dialogue probably. So
Yeah.
I'm giving you tasks over a stream right now, but that's okay, I guess. And now your schedule is. Oh, I'm not gonna. Perf schedules, but that's where the discussion has been mostly. I think game design and storytelling, how to tell a story in a cooperative game in an effective, interesting manner.
Yeah.
We sort of know the music's going to be awesome, so we don't talk that much about it, right? Yeah, we have so many ideas that we haven't, like over the years, that we haven't done yet, that I think both want to do, and most importantly Simon wants to do, so we're just going to do that. We sort of try to get our members to have as much room as possible and just trust in the team, just as long as what they're doing is fitting with the concept. Yeah, I'm answering your questions now, Simon, sorry.
No, it's fine. But
Okay.
regarding the music, I can say just quickly that what I've been thinking about doing is something I haven't done in any game in my entire career, and that is leaving it up to the game to arrange the music to a greater extent than has ever been done by me before. All the games I've made music for, the game has been playing snippets of music, or rather long loops of music actually, and for this game I'm thinking of maybe letting the game, like parameters in the game, control the music so that the music is even more adaptive and even more dynamic and tells the player more and becomes even more just reacts better to what's happening on screen. And that's a great technical and artistic challenge that I'm looking forward to.
So this brings us to something Ulf said a few minutes ago in the stream, a cooperative first-person shooter. So one of the things we wanted to know was why a cooperative first-person shooter. What did you have in mind when you decided that you wanted to make a game of that kind?
Are you asking me or Simon?
Uh, it's for whoever wants to answer it, really.
Yeah. I can answer first then. I think as soon as I sit people and talk about what to do, it's always a case where some people wants to make, or me included, wants to make something small and something that was, let's make a platformer, let's make like a simple iPhone game, because you're tired of these big productions and big, the people are expecting you to make better and better stuff, and you just want to make something that's fun to make and that's just very simple. But then you quickly realize you're not that kind of animal. Like, you're not constructed to make those games, really. Like, I think we could make, especially Simon could make a platform, and I'd love to make one with him. But I think there's something in the DNA of how we do stuff where cooperative FPS really fits what we're making, what we want to make, and what we think is fun to play. And a big case, which also is why Payday actually exists at all, is because we want to make something that that we as a studio can play. That was one of the overkill sort of goals, because if you can play it yourself, if you've, I know a lot of people haven't made a game in the stream, but if you're making like a single player game, for example, you know the story and you know all the things. It's like making a movie where you've read the script, and it's not as exciting because it's very hard to play it as a gamer. While a cooperative FPS, it could be a cooperative third person. It's just cooperative, especially if it has some random elements to it. It's very easy to. It's harder maybe to make it to some extent, but it's easier to play as a gamer, which cuts down on a lot of Q&A and a lot of you get a lot of good ideas from every playthrough. So I think that's a core thing. And of course, to be honest, there's some sort of there's a bunch of stuff that you want to make. When you make one cooperative or make one kind of game, you have a bunch of ideas that you want to execute on, that you didn't manage to do, or you didn't execute them, you did it poorly, or whatever. And you just want to do it again and see if you can do it better, basically. And then we combine that with a bunch of other stuff that we want to make. Like we've always wanted to make a horror game, so this is going to lean more towards horror. It's
You guys are getting a scoop here.
We're writing this down.
No, it's not. It's not a scoop. People know this if they paid attention. But it's we're sort of in that area, and we don't want to make another, like a lot of people have been asking, like, oh, are you making another heist game? And we're not. Like we've done that. It was fun as hell, but we're gonna make something else. We're gonna make something that keeps us interested and keeps us creative and make sure that we make a very good game. That's all.
Awesome. Also, Simon distracted us by donating 100, which our partner is matching. Thank you so much.
You saved 4+ lives.
So you've saved
that donation.
4 lives, yeah.
All right. Well. So, yeah. Oh, well, it's not in our hands. We don't get any of the money.
I kid.
All right. So, what was the inspiration behind Pat Briscoe?
Question.
Well, it started off with just the concept of Starbreeze creating a lot of trailers and teasers and short films where they wanted music that was supposed to sound as if it was licensed music by existing artists, not necessarily something that would sound similar to any existing artist. It was just supposed to sound like a certain style. So of course, I done the opera piece for the Big Bang trailer, and I don't recall exactly what other tracks I'd created until that point. But I've been, fooling around with these Christmas songs and different, just different styles of music, and we thought it was fun for the community to get this, these different flavors within the Payday universe, so to speak. And because of that, I started making up these names for different bands and artists, so that for people who weren't truly interested and wanted to find out, they would not realize that it was actually me or people hired by me. All music is written by me. All the like the what's the '50s pop song?
Flames of Love.
Flames of Love, exactly. It's written by me. It wasn't performed by me, but I was in the studio and directed the band that played it, and I wrote all the harmonies and the melodies and all the chords and the lyrics and stuff. So it's my song, and then there is no band, there is no Pat Briscoe, there's no Smokey. What's the name I came up
Bennett
with?
and the Hoops.
Yeah, Smokey Bennett and the Hoops. There's no band really. Because I just hired musicians to come in and play. So I knew a good guitarist, I knew a good pianist, I knew a good bassist and a drum player and a couple of singers. So it was just pieced together by me really. But to sell it, so to speak, and just to have fun, when designing like the cover art for the song when we released it on Bandcamp, we wanted it to look authentic, like it was a real band. So it needed a band name, and yeah. So that's what we did with the Pat Briscoe songs as well. I just, if I recall correctly, what's David Goldfarb was still working at Starbreeze back then. So I told him, like, what's the most American name you can come up with? And I think he said Pat or something. I don't know exactly who came up with Pat, but I just liked the sound of Pat Briscoe. It just felt good saying it, and it sounded really American. So we went with Pat Briscoe, and it's just stuck. At that point, when we came up with the name, I didn't know that I was going to write another song that was in the kind of country style. But then when that was decided, of course, I said, "Oh, this is another Pat Briscoe song." So then we have two songs by the same fake artist. But yeah, but those are the two songs that exist.
And Miles Malone, is that you as well?
No,
No,
no, I can't sing soul. My voice is not suited for soul. So I hired a guy. I know.
Yeah, 'cause we were confused about
soul.
that internally. Some of us were like, "Is that Simon or what?" Okay,
No.
so yeah, Pat Briscoe. Will we see more from him, or hear more from him, rather?
Well, that's. Sorry, I got this cold. That's really up to, like, I'm not gonna write Pat Briscoe songs just in my spare time. So that's really up to Starbreeze. If they want more country songs, I'm probably gonna be. Hopefully, I'll be hired to do it, and then I can maybe, yeah, it can be a Pat Briscoe track. I don't know. It's really up to them. But I'm looking forward to doing other stuff. Other styles of music and the music for 10 Chambers stuff, and so I'm not gonna cry if those two Pat Briscoe songs that exist are the only ones that end up existing.
Right. Well, the whole reason I asked is because one of our viewers, who is now one of our moderators, is in love with Pat Briscoe, and he has he's made a physical CD with a case and everything, and he was so excited, and now he's really disappointed that he's gonna miss your Q&A and stuff. And we discussed, and we were wondering if he could somehow send that to you and get it signed. If that'd be we could discuss this at another time, but that's something that he was super interested in.
Yeah, that sounds weird and flattering at the same time. We can probably fix something, like he can send it to the Starbreeze office, and I can drop by and pick it up or sign it and send it back or something.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll move into the next question, and we'll handle that whenever.
Okay, so this is to both of you, is there absolutely anything you can tell us about your upcoming game other than what we already know? And this is to Ulf specifically. You've voiced characters, and they've been great. And is there any chance that you're going to voice another character in the future, maybe in your own game?
Yeah. Well, I think there might be, but it's not intentional from my end usually. But a lot of people keep telling me I should, and then me and Simon will probably do all the temporary stuff. We usually do a pass over games and do all the temporary voice lines. And sometimes you nail a character to the extent where it's very hard to replace them. So that might happen again, like it did with Wolf case where there. But I don't know. I'm not it's fun to do, but I like the game to be perfect and the storytelling to be perfect. And if there's not a crazy Swedish dude in there, I'm not gonna do any voice. I might be able to do a crazy Russian dude, but it's gonna be semi-fake. But I probably will do a lot of monster stuff, or screaming stuff and agonizing and stuff like that. So more, I think my talents will be more toward, they're lent more towards the horror part of the game we're making.
I'm interested in, when you asked the question, you said, is there anything you can tell us except the things that we know? What is it that you think you know?
Oh no. This is going to end the wrong way. So we're not going to give the chat fuel for hype, and
It's too late.
it's too late? Okay. Well, I mean, we know it's a cooperative FPS, and you just told us it's going to lean more on horror. So
Yeah.
Is there absolutely a date we can look out for, or some information that we're going to get in our newsletters, which everybody should sign up for, by the way, if you haven't already.
The ambassador stuff?
The ambassadors.
The thing I can tell you about the ambassadors thing, maybe it's one thing that people will be interested in, is we think we're closing in on the limit of the amount of ambassadors we want to have. So if you haven't signed up, you should do it now.
Yeah, it's going to be exclusive.
Yeah, we're gonna shut that down. The actual sign up. So it's a good idea if you haven't been active and signed up yet. Do that. Other than that, I think I don't want to mess with the guys who really love planning this out, the information. But at the same time, I'm on the stream and I don't have a publisher, so I can say but I'll get my ass kicked on Monday. But that's okay.
Well, you don't need to say anything, just to be clear.
No, but I mean, I think we said, I think it might be interesting to know that we're sort of aiming for a more of a hardcore cooperative. So instead of drifting, we see a lot of cooperative games sort of drifting towards a more mainstream cooperative. because the cooperative community is growing and you want to sell more copies and etc. etc. But we really love the sort of problem solving in a group and sort of having to communicate and having to work together. We usually do the comparison of playing next to each other or playing with each other without doing a porn reference there. So I accidentally did. But the
Yeah,
thing
it's
is,
the difference is, are you just moving together,
yeah,
playing side by side, or are you actually attacking the objectives as a team and collaborating and is it truly cooperative in that sense?
yeah, and tons of stuff like decisions when you design the game that you know if you never can expect players to actually play together, you have to avoid certain features, and we'd like it to be something where you have to depend on each other, and even if you play with like a stranger, and even if he's like a much worse player or like lower experience or not as far into the progression as you are in the game, he should still be really valuable to you. So like making every player valuable, but making every problem like a group problem is the goal. Not saying that it will be like limited to 4 players only, but we're thinking about making it at least a 2-player only, which is actually a fairly big thing to do. Because you can do a lot of stuff there, storytelling and puzzles and how you approach certain things. Even enemy design can be set up in a different way because of that.
Yeah, if you do that, make that rather controversial or like limiting decision, you can do some really cool stuff. So we just hope that the game community, will embrace that entire concept and accept a game that you can pretty much only play if you have a friend who will join you and play with you.
So different type of stuff. We're aiming to make something different rather than going for the big numbers. And usually with high quality, the numbers will come, but like that's not our main focus, which I think is also a problem with bigger companies, because it becomes all about the money after a while, and it's not about making something that's really cool or something that you really want to make, which I think is, for me at least, very important. I know it's important for Simon too. Just something that you remember making, you can look back on those years, because it takes you at least 3 years to finish something up in total, from idea to finalization. And it's if that's shit, you're gonna cry about it the rest of your life, or ask yourself why you did it. So it better be good.
Of course. Shiro?
Yep. Simon, since your announcement with 10 Chambers, how much freelance work are you going to be doing?
During with
Like just you being with 10 Chambers now, how is that going to impact you doing freelance work?
It's going to be limited. It's pretty much only to leave the door open for, like, in order not to disappoint the Payday community too much.
Right.
Since my music is so like deeply connected with the Payday franchise.
Yeah. So how's that going to impact Payday and like all the sound design and all that goes on there?
Well, I haven't been involved in the sound design for Payday 2 for several years. I was just there in the beginning and took some creative decisions, and then they've had other people. We had other people creating the gun sounds and everything else. So don't worry about the sound design. In terms of music, I don't know. It's really up to like it's not my responsibility to make the music. I just, since I'm a freelancer, it's up to Starbreeze to, if they want music, to contact me and ask for whether I can do the music or not. And that now, since I will be involved with 10 Chambers, I have to decide on a job-to-job basis, so to speak. Like every time they contact me and ask me if I can do a song, I will have to consider whether I have the time or not, pretty much. So we'll have to see. But I think I mean, I'm sure you'll hear some new Payday music by me in the future as well. It might not be as much as before. We'll see.
All right, that was a good answer to that question. You can ask another one. Faded.
So, this is to Ulf and Simon. What is the best part about now the team at 10 Chambers? And do you have something like game nights or getting together with colleagues after work, or because you're a small team? And what game are you looking forward to, and do you enjoy the most? Maybe playing with your colleagues after work, or in general?
You want to answer that, Simon? No, because I have a simple answer to it. Right now, I mean, it differs from time to time. We used to play a lot of GTA. We mostly play from home though, since some people have families, and we sort of, it's a very flexible office. Like a lot of people aren't there, or, you know, we're sort of spread out. But we meet up at the office sometimes. So we played GTA, and we played Left 4 Dead. Picked that up again. Left 4 Dead 1, actually. It's a lot of fun still. But then me and Simon has been playing Destiny since... When is that, Simon?
Since launch, pretty much.
Since launch, yeah. I can't remember when the launch was, but it feels like
August, or it was fall 2014.
Yeah, so we spent a bit too much time on that. So we have like weeks where we play a lot, and then other weeks we don't, or months we don't. But there's a new DLC coming up, so we're gonna play the shit out of that, I guess.
Probably.
We usually do. To me, Destiny has one of the absolute best shooting mechanics, and that's basically why I think we play it still. It's just, you could just shoot stuff. You don't have to care about much, and it's cooperative. You know, it's fairly light-headed, like light cooperative, but still very like well executed for what it is.
Yeah, some other guys in the 10 Chambers teams play Diablo.
Oh yeah, Diablo is played, and then what's that game? You played that too, right? I never played it. The massive one.
The Division. Yeah,
the Division.
A few of us played that one, but I mean, yeah, that faded pretty quickly.
I'm looking to play, find someone or like a group to play the Rainbow Six Siege. At least play through that cooperative part. I've heard it has some stuff in it that I'd like to check out, so I'm looking for that.
What was that Ubisoft game where you were hitting these drug cartels that was coming out?
Oh yeah. No, that's actually Wildlands. Yeah, that's actually our old producer on Grow 2, Simon.
Yeah. I don't know if is that a sign of quality, or is that just trivia?
No, he's a great dude. I think it's gonna be. I mean, it doesn't matter if he's a great dude. The game can still suck, but I think it's gonna be cool. People
that looks like our kind of game, the kind of game that Ulf and I would play together.
Yeah. Like it could be buggy as hell. I'll still play that because it's sort of right up my alley.
I'd like to take a moment to say hi to Victor, Simon's brother. He just hopped into the stream. Hi, Victor.
Hey.
Back
Is
to you,
Victor in the
Shiro.
chat?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Beautiful.
All right. Well, Simon. So, Simon, given the opportunity, will you return to Payday 3 for either soundtrack or to voice Bane?
I will. I will decide on that when and if the opportunity would arise. So I can't really answer that question now.
Right. Okay. Well, then that sums that one up.
So, one of the things that this was from the viewers, we saw a picture of Smant on, and sorry if I got the name wrong, on Twitter, and he had inflated pillows, and he was working at his desk. So the question is, how do the brainstorming and game development sessions at Temp Chambers actually go? Do you have a meeting room where you sit down and write a bunch of things on a whiteboard, or?
Yeah, we do either whiteboard or just we've done a lot of like phone circles. Just I call a guy and then I talk to him and then I call the next dude and then they call each other and then we just call round in circles until we get something done. It's just very ineffective, but sometimes when you're not at the office, it works, or when you're on vacation. But otherwise, it's in a group, sort of just like brainstorming. That would be go through everything and then break out into groups and then just come up with a bunch of shit and then we throw that on a board and then we go through discuss each point so everybody can discuss and describe their stuff and then you designate a smaller group that will basically filter out all the shit and not necessarily shit but like stuff that's too hard to make or whatever. Most stuff will always give you some sort of cool idea for the rest of the game. Like, yeah, we just filter a lot back and forth, and then somewhere along the line, it's up to the guy in charge of that specific area to decide if it's going in or not. It's just a very we do a lot of filtering, like again and again and again, and reevaluate and reiterate and rediscuss and redesign and we do that a lot. So it's a bit of a depressing sort of situation. But I think it's the only way to go really if you want to have a sort of creative group going and not a design dictatorship. I've done that too.
It's been more of a group effort, like the game design and the coming up with features and stuff. It's been more like everyone involved in a greater extent than any project I think I've been a part of before in my career. And I think that's a testament to the team, like how we can how everyone is in the team is a good source of ideas and source of passion for the project.
Yeah, I agree.
So basically,
Okay.
to the viewers, it's not all fluffy air cushions.
No, but we have those. We have the fluffy stuff. But it's we didn't want more chairs. We have a lot of chairs, so
Fat
we just
boys.
wanted fat boys. Yeah, so we threw in some fat boys there to get sort of the launchy feeling and feel like. So that's what we did. I feel a bit like an idiot actually when I'm sitting in it, but it's okay. Gets the mind working. It's different from sitting in a chair or standing up, which I usually do. But yeah, we have air cushions. If that makes us more important, I think
It does.
so.
Moving on to Shiro.
Yeah. All right. So this is a two-part question that both revolve around the same thing. So, Simon, what was the soundtrack, any soundtrack out of your entire career that was the most comfortable for you to work on, the one that flowed the most, and then in tandem with that, which one was the most complex that you've ever made, that you felt tasked you the most?
Wow. Oh, it's a difficult question. It's a good one, but it's difficult. I haven't thought about it. So many projects.
Are there any that stand out?
Well, the bionic music kind of. Well, I had something to base it off of. I mean, those weren't my melodies and chords, so I kind of reinterpreted someone else's melodies and stuff. So maybe that's cheating to say that, you know, I had a good flow on that one. But in terms of just, you know, how clear my vision was for the soundtrack, and how then how well received it became, even though some people were skeptical about the artistic direction I was taking it. That was a good project, because I made the music in exactly the style that I had envisioned, and people at Capcom were like, "Are you sure?" And then when the music was released, everyone seemed to think it fit really well, and that it did the original songs, which are of course classics. That it did those songs justice, which was nice knowing. But you know, there's so much, like, after doing Payday 1, doing Payday 2 came really easily as well in terms of making the music. We kept going with the same implementation technique, so I really didn't develop the way we implemented the music. I just kept making more electronic music, and for Payday 2, it's been like almost I can do whatever I want, especially since we added that feature where the player can decide what songs not to have in the playlist. So I can kind of go crazy, and if I want to do a drum and bass song, I can do that. If I want to do a house song or a trance song or a hip hop song, I can put it in the game, because it's like we just throw everything on the board and see what sticks, pretty much. There's always someone who likes it, and the style for Payday music has become so diverse, so everything is allowed, pretty much. So making Payday 2 music is pretty much like the style for Payday 2 is pretty much whatever Simon feels like doing at that time in his life. So it changes. So it's for me, it's super easy making the music for Payday 2. So I guess that's the one that came the easiest. And the other
What about
question
one that
was
tasked you? Yeah.
if it was some music that came that was difficult.
Yeah, well, just one that you felt was kind of challenging to achieve, like, a victory, and like, okay, I want to make this, how am I going to do it? And then you actually get it done, sense of accomplishment.
The opera piece, probably. That was really tricky. I don't think, looking back at it now, like in terms of how the production of the symphonic stuff, I could do a lot better now, and put in a lot of more details, and make the strings and everything sound more real, because it sounds kind of synthesized as it is now. But yeah, the chords, like, is a really complex song with a lot of like chord changes and stuff, and I'm happy I managed to write something that tells the story for the trailer with those vocals so well. That turned out really nice, and it was truly challenging making it. So I guess that's my answer.
Yeah. Oh, well, you were talking, like, this is just something that I'm just going to throw out there because it may or may not help you, but you said that you were trying to make it sound more, because it was all synthesized stuff, so you wanted to make it sound more realistic. A friend of mine, Nick, he makes music and stuff, and what he does when it comes to making actual instruments, like whether it be a harp or anything, he changes the velocity of each note, and it makes it feel a little bit more realistic, so you could probably implement that into something you do.
Yeah. That's definitely part of making it sound real. Is not like making it sound less mechanic.
Right.
Having it like
Nobody can play
change a little
something
bit.
perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. A human or an orchestra of people cannot play something, as exact as a computer can. So,
If
yeah,
they're not Chinese. Get the Chinese.
yeah, exactly.
They're fucking
Alright,
awesome.
well. Alright, well, Faded, you can take this.
The sad part is, and believe it or not, we have actually reached the end of our questions.
But those were really, really good questions. I have to say, some of those questions I've never, like,
No.
I've been on a lot of streams, I've been in a lot of interviews, and those were really good questions.
And
Hell yeah. Well, we're glad that was us.
and thank you so much for doing this. One other thing I need to say before we wrap this up is, so we're partnering with 10 Chambers, right? And they're giving the top donator one signed cap, which is going to be signed by the whole team, I'm assuming, if there's enough space to fit on everyone's signatures
Yep.
in there. And it's a beautiful cap. We'll show you in a minute. And we'd like to thank them for that.
It's just one cap, man. Seriously. The guy has paid, like, I don't know how much to get it. So that's... Okay. Thank
But
you
it's
for
going to
thank-
be a great collectible item.
That's true. That's true. We can probably get the money back on eBay if we don't make shit games. So that's the wolf joke. Are you looking at the chat? Still the wolf joke in the nightclub.
Oh,
I get that
yeah.
question a lot, and I can't answer it. And so I think Simon can. I don't know.
What's the joke?
It's the
Wolf, stay off the
joke.
dance
The
floor.
dance floor.
Stay off the dance floor.
Stay off the dance floor. That's not from Nightclub. That's from Diamond Heist in the first game.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So that's become kind of a running joke, and I think I don't remember who wrote the line, but the idea was that Wolf, the character Wolf, was crazy enough to actually, if the team, the robbers, went into a place where there was a dance floor, that he would actually kind of forget about his duties as a robber and start dancing. So that was just a way to paint the image of Wolf as a really crazy, unreliable, I suppose, character in the team.
Just like in real life. Yeah.
Too crazy for his own good type of deal.
I will always break out into a dance in like the most weird occasions. Just like
I love that.
Yeah.
I love your character and all that.
Yeah. It's the sad thing. It's not really a character. It's just me.
Right. Okay. That's
I'm
fair enough.
Yeah.
It's easier to do the character if it's not a character.
Yeah. Acting? What? You were just recording me for 6 hours. Do you want to do any more questions? Like, have people ask, or are we...
We were thinking if the chat has any questions that they'd like answered that we haven't covered.
Yeah, go ahead, throw them up, chat.
Beautiful Victor writes, Pippi Swag. Do you see that, Simon?
Yeah. He
Yeah,
knows the inside.
joke on that one, yeah. Your brother knows too much. We have to kill him.
Yeah, it's one of those weird lines that we never actually put in the game. But Ulf screamed "Pippi Squig," which means Pippi Longstocking's beard, and it was just one of those weird combat
Improv.
cries.
Yeah. Combat improv moments. Yeah, I guess. Pippi Squig.
So here's an important question. It's very important, so we're going to ask this. So in the new game, in your game, how many levels can we expect will have ultimate out of meat, and why is it going to be all of them?
The reason is because it's so cool. Like, meat is the coolest wall, I guess. If you've ever been in a meat house, I think you've noticed how cool it is, right? Except for the stank,
Yeah.
the ranky house. Yeah, it's so cool. It's just very cool. No, actually, I don't know who that is, and the funny thing is, like, every sci-fi like game or like has some sort of mysterious element to it that I've ever been a part of. One of the things is like, don't never ever put like meat walls in a game. That's one of my like director.
It's such a cliche.
Yeah, it's such a cliche, and it's in every game. Every
Yeah.
like big sci-fi shooter, or like from System Shock to Halo to, there's gonna be a meat wall somewhere in there. Even like
Even
contemporary
Metroid
games.
Prime.
Metro Prime, yeah. Even like contemporary games sometimes have like, oh, let's put in a dream sequence with a meat wall in it, just to get that meat wall in there. So it's funny that whoever that is, that'd be even more funny if it's a guy who's been working with me at some point. He's 81 years old, so I don't know, maybe.
Wow. A question just came up for Simon. So when you're making a soundtrack, would you typically write the stealth part or the assault part first, or would you write it as a single progressive theme?
I would most often I start with the assault part, and then I add the build up to that, and then I do the control part based on the assault part, and then I do the stealth part last, and that can be the most different from the previous parts of the songs I've written. So that's pretty much the order. But I pretty much always start with the assault part.
Thanks for that. Is there any more questions anybody has? We've opened up the chat and the.
I see one, but I don't know if Ulf wants to answer.
The boobs, Duke Nukem boobs?
Boob walls, yeah.
Boob walls.
Boob
No,
walls.
we're probably not gonna have boob walls. I'm sorry. I'm gonna pitch it on Monday, but I think it's gonna get shot down, most definitely. Alien has meat walls. Yes, Alien has. Like, everything has meat walls, man. I have meat walls, but on the inside. Like, everybody has them. It's so cliche. Everybody has them.
I guess I can hijack the questions.
Sure.
Yeah.
What was your first games that you guys played? We asked Georgia and Erika Tavari earlier, and they gave us their first experience on gaming. What was yours?
Simon, you want to go first?
Yeah, that was way back in the 80s. Probably some kind of an NES game, or maybe at my friend my friend Henrik had a Commodore 64, and we played, the games were on cassettes, actual cassette tapes, and in order to load them into the memory of the computer, you had to, you put this cassette in, and then you would like sit and hope for it to work, because it was such a high risk that the cassette was corrupt in some way. And by the way, this Henrik guy is actually the sound designer now at 10 Chambers. So I've known this guy since I was like 6 years old or something, which is 30 years now. Crazy. We've known each other for 30 years. So and that's part of what I love, and what entices me with the entire 10 Chambers team, is that a lot of those people are friends of mine since even before, you know, I became a professional in the gaming business. I don't know them from even from Green. I know them from before Green, before I even got into the business. I mean, Ulf and I are friends from high school, so we knew one another before we worked together. You know, so we were classmates in high school. So that's really nice to have your friends that close. You know, and working together with them, people you really get along with, and really trust. That's nice.
Get along with is an overstatement, though. I don't particularly like you.
Tolerates. You tolerate.
Tolerates is a
Exactly.
good,
People
yeah,
you
yeah.
really tolerate and not want to
People,
punch in the face
yeah,
as
too
often
often.
as other people.
Yeah. My first game was that I can remember is Fairy Tale on the Amiga. It's probably one of the first ones that I can remember. We got an Amiga in our house, and that was like, it was Fairy Tale and it was Insanity Fight, which is like a top-down shooter thing. But I probably played some sort of C64 before that, at some friend's house. But I can't remember the games really from that time. But I hadn't really come across anything of any, like, the Amiga was actually sort of ahead of its time, so everything else sort of paled in comparison. So I can't really remember much of the other games, but I played a bit of early PC stuff like King's Quest 3 and stuff like that. But mostly on, like, the big change for me from Amiga to PC was Doom. Actually, that's where it really flipped for me, playing Doom. And then Duke Nukem with the boob wall. The boob walls was a big up from that game. But yeah, so Fairy Tail, I think, which is funny because Fairy Tail is basically Morrowind Morrowind is Fairy Tail with better graphics. Like, nothing has to really happen with games. It's just it's the same shit, just better graphics. Not really, but like for most part, like a lot of the stuff that was invented when people started out making games is still the same shit that gets reinvented or reused. But it's not a bad thing. It's just, it goes to show people could do stuff back in the day, like even when they had a very limited set of tools. Yeah.
Well, this is a question for both of you. Um, how did you guys get into game developing? Was it something you guys wanted since like early beginnings of your life, or was it one day that you guys like, oh, I'm just gonna try at game developing?
For me, it was. Let's see now. I started trying to make demos, and the demos started to look like games. Like, I was pixeling art before I was reading, so I couldn't read, but I could pixel. So my first like interest in reading was like learning to save images and palettes and stuff like that. And that sort of drifted into making games. And I think the big I tried on the Amiga. I was too young and too like, well, I didn't know much about programming and stuff. So I think hacking Doom was a very big thing. And I was hacking Doom with Simon also during those days. We were hacking it together.
Yeah,
And
we were
then
modding
I
it
sort
at
of
least.
just, yeah. But it was more like memory hacks and hex editing and shit like that. And then
What one you made where
Quake, and
all the
then
weapons were fully automatic?
oh, it's Quake. Auto shit. That's the best
Auto
mod for
shit,
Quake.
yeah. Such a great name for the mod.
It's the best unplayed mod ever, but it was a cool mod. Yeah, that's sort of how it went, and I think I spent 1 week at a firm, like a summer job, or whatever it's called in the States, but like a internship thing that you have to do when you're in school in Sweden, and I spent like a week there, making holes in plates, basically, or in like making like these elevator metal covers around the buttons, like things, and it sucked so badly, and I realized I would probably kill myself before like the second week was over, so I decided to make games instead. I think when I sat there, or make something, at least make something else. And I've spent a lot of time with like 3D and 2D, and started to play around like with programming and stuff. So it sort of drifted into that from there. Did I answer the question? I guess I did.
Yes, you did. I'm just waiting for Simon.
Okay.
How I got into game development?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I actually, even before I could, when I started playing games back in the 80s, I loved the NES games, Mega Man and stuff.
I know this story. This is the best one.
I started making games on paper. Like I would create like levels and maps and like side scroller type games, like Mega Man levels and stuff, and just write them down, drawing them on paper. Platforms and bosses and boss rooms and mazes and platform puzzles and spikes and all that stuff, pretending that I was making a game, but I was just drawing it on paper. And then actually, in order to try the games out, I would put another larger paper on top of that first paper that had the map on it, or the map, and I would cut a hole, and that would be the screen in the paper on top of it, and I would move that around and pretend that this was the TV screen, and that the map was moving, like I was moving across the map. It was a total nerd thing, and I was like 10 years old, but I loved that stuff. And looking back now, or like thinking about it now, I never dreamed that I would actually be making games later in life. But yeah, I started really early, just for no reason, just dreaming about that and wanting to not just play games, but also design and create games as well. So it's weird that it's what I'm doing now, and I've been doing it for 15 years, 16 years actually.
Also, since Wolf mentioned modding and hexing, is mod support the thing you guys are looking for on your game, or do you guys don't want to support modding?
I think for the first game we make, modding won't be like a big thing, because it's a lot building around like a mystery or stuff that you don't want to know. So opening it up will sort of ruin that experience, I think, and people will sort of rip it apart, and and also we don't want to do like a half-assed mod thing. So, but probably like our second game will be more lenient towards modding, I think, because I have that background, and I like it's a lot of fun to do, even though I think the modding community is sort of drifting into some sort of mainstream thing now with the sort of slotted Doom map editing and stuff like that. But I'd like to see more like content creation where people make their own maps or make their own stuff, and that would be a lot of fun. But I'd like it to be like the perfect game for it, and I don't think the game we're making now is a good choice. Like, and I don't want to spend time on it, and as I said, make something half-assed. I'd rather not do it right now.
Understandable. You guys talked about sorry for background noise. Yeah, you guys talked about the co-op aspect of your game. Will it be co-op only type of thing, or it will be co-op competitive in the sense of you can share your score and try to get other people to beat it type of thing?
We actually looked into that, and we came up with came to the conclusion that competitive. We had a lot of great competitive designs for it, and we might still do some of them. But we sort of looked at it from just a time perspective. We're such a small team that we'd like to spend all our the gameplay experience as positive as possible, and also sort of when you introduce competitive stuff, either deathmatch or ranked stuff, it just becomes a lot more serious for people, and people like to exploit it more, or it just becomes a different type of community and different type of experience for people, especially for new people. So we're actually talking about staying away from it as much as possible right now, but we'll see. There's some stuff that might still fit, but we don't want it to be something where we don't want to make any features that basically alters the way you experience the game, or the community, sort of what the community becomes. We want it to be something that's very cooperative. I mean, there's examples of games that are designed as a cooperative game, but it's not a cooperative experience. I think Kane and Lynch is a very good example of that. If you compare Kane and Lynch with Payday, for example, Kane and Lynch isn't really a cooperative because it's all about backstabbing and stuff like that. And I'm not saying ranked stuff is similar, but it has sort of that edge to it where you'd like to compete with other teams. And I don't think we can do it justice for this one either, but we'd rather make something that has very tight controllers and good gameplay in general, and just execute on the game, the actual experience as much as possible. Because one key for us is not expanding the team too much. We don't want to become that 30 plus company, and then you're 50, and then you're 60, and then suddenly you're 120, and you're on the stock market, and everything is a very different thing. We'd like it to be a very small unit, and we'd rather work with other studios or outsourcing and stuff like that, and just make it more like a production company in the movie business, if we're going for something that's big. But right now we just make everything ourselves because we think that's more fun to do, basically. So that's a part of that decision, because it steals focus from a lot of other stuff, basically. Did I answer the question? I guess yes. I did, in 5 ways. But yeah, there's a lot of reasons why you would, and also why you wouldn't with the team we have, team size.
Is cheating a really big concern at this stage of the development of your game?
Cheating? The discussion is there always with cheating. It's cheating is almost like a bad trailer for a movie where you see the ending, but depends. If you have competitive, cheating becomes a very big thing, and you have to spend tons of time of making it foolproof, because otherwise you can't compete in it. So you spend tons of time in making that shit. But if you're not competitive, and you just if you buy it as a product, and or as an experience, and then you just have fun with it for whatever hours you want to have fun with it, whatever hours it lasts. It's basically your own fault if you cheat. You see what I mean? So you don't really have to care about it much. You can spend your time on making a good game instead. And cheat protection never really works. So I think that's been proven, especially on PC. Like PC, you're fucked. Like if you're on PC and try to do anything complex with the game and not just like deathmatch, even deathmatch is very, very hard. But it's a completely different thing. You got to run standalone servers, and you got to write it in a very different way. And we'd rather make something that we can get the most out of the gameplay, so the gameplay isn't limited by trying to avoid cheaters and stuff like that.
So a question for both of you. Since Wolf mentioned movies on his previous answer, what's your favorite movie and why?
Should we just mention
There?
what we were looking into for inspiration for the current project?
You
Will
don't
that
mention.
reveal? Will that reveal too much of the?
I guess it would, yeah, and it would just be weird, I think. But the favorite movie? I mean, what's your favorite movie? You have a favorite movie?
I like Fight Club a lot. I like
Yeah.
the first Die Hard a lot. I like Terminator 2 a lot. I like the first. I love the first Back to the Future.
Yeah.
But I speak for both Ulf and I dare say, when I say the best sci-fi movie of recent years is Edge of Tomorrow. We saw that together, and we were really blown away by it. That's a great sci-fi movie. I'd say, to me, it's the best since, like, Matrix or something.
Matrix 1.
Oh, yeah. That's the only one that counts.
It's not better than Matrix 1, though, but it's the best since, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very hard to beat, yeah. For me, it's like the same as he said, basically, and then I can add some, like, Alien 1. It's probably one of my absolute favorite movies. Fight Club is so good. You said most of them, like Terminator. Like we got a bunch of 90s, like 80s and 90s references here. Like, my Blade Runner for me. Blade Runner is a fantastic movie. Like, in whatever version you want to pick. You have any more really good ones? I'm particularly fond of Gladiator for some reason. Like I like that movie. I really enjoy like good movies, like beautiful movies, like Blade Runner is a really beautiful one, but like good cinema stuff. That's why I really enjoy like movies like Goonies or Indiana Jones, like real cinema. Not I really enjoy those. But I also like the newer stuff, like Fight Club. I think is a good example of more complex stuff, which is also extremely good. Like, but I can still enjoy like Goonies. if somebody puts a gun to my head and forces me to see it again. So what's that series we talked about, Simon? Stranger Things is a very good example of like reliving that and seeing that kind of stuff again. I think that was an awesome TV series. I see a lot of TV series, a lot of HBO, basically. But yeah, I think Deadpool was cool. There's a guy asking in the chat. Deadpool was I was surprised. I thought it would be sort of meh, but it was a cool movie.
We got two last questions, for me at least. The first question is, if you guys had the chance of making a movie-based game, would you do it?
Should I start? Because I can go into a rant and it could take some time, but I'll get this over with pretty quick. I worked on Terminator. Like Terminator is a dream project in your head, and I worked on licensed games like Bionic Commando or Ghost Recon or whatever, and it fucking sucks. Like I thoroughly not. I don't enjoy it, and I think for me, I'd rather make new stuff instead of like try to leverage leverage old IP or leverage shit that's just like um, well, somebody else made something great, and I'd rather try to make something great myself rather than spend my time on just trying to trick people into buying shit that they think they want, and in the end they probably don't. Like there's not many licensed games or movie games that are actually good, in my opinion. I have a very hard time naming one actually. Riddick maybe. That was a good game.
Oh yeah, they had an Xbox one, didn't they?
Yeah. Not really based on the movie, but it was a good game. It had the same name. And of course, I mean the proper remakes, like the Bionic Commando Rearmed. That was a proper remake. That was good. Where it's staying true to it, It's actually doing what it's supposed to do. You can play that and love the original game and love that. Like, I think that's a good remake. Otherwise, I think they're few good. Like,
He's just saying that to be polite when I'm in the stream.
Yeah, that sucks too. Actually, yeah, that's true. No, and I think the closest I've come to be happy with a remake or not remake, but like a rehash of some old IP. It's Alien Isolation. I think that was a fairly good game, like especially the art and the mood and stuff. Like if I didn't complete it because I suck. Like I couldn't sneak past the fucking alien too much, so that was hard. But it was a really like the ambience was really cool. I think. Simon, do you have?
Oh, okay. Go for it. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, but my thoughts are the same on this subject actually. Like you in your head, you love the idea of like making a game based on Terminator or whatever, some franchise or movie franchise that you love. But in reality, you have to like appease, the studio heads who own the rights to them and the guys who are making the latest whatever Terminator movie, and yeah, you're at the mercy of their crazy, like they want to be game designers too, and they like
Yeah.
force you to put these bad ideas into the game. Maybe they force you into the schedule where you have to release the game at the time of the movie or even before the movie, and it's never enough time. And yeah, the little time you have to like, it's so much, politics, and you have to like talk with them and try to talk them out of forcing you to put these bad ideas into the game, and a lot of development time is wasted just communicating with idiots, pretty much. So in a perfect world, you would be able to do the perfect game based on Terminator, because Terminator in itself is a great, as an example, I'm taking Terminator, Terminator is a great franchise and a great concept with the machines taking over and everything. But in reality, it's never what you think it is to make the game. There's always, yeah, it's we've had too much of that experience with that stuff, Ulf and I
Yeah.
think, throughout the career.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But I think I was almost killed too many times, man. I don't know if it made you stronger in the end.
Yeah.
What doesn't kill you makes you bitter.
Exactly. What doesn't kill you makes you not want to make any more franchise
Shit. Yeah, but the
license
tough
games.
the tough reality is if you have a studio and it's big enough, you gotta do a bunch of shit you don't want to keep the salaries rolling. So
To
you
keep it afloat.
yeah, so you'll do anything basically, and it's not about making games. After a while, it's just keeping it afloat, and that's the problem with the whole third-party development studio stuff. It's just well, maybe it's for some people, but it's not for me. Like I've done that too much. And that's what I relate to when I just licenses in general and like making sequels of what other people made, and it's just it's where the money is at, but it fucking sucks to do. It's not fun. But it also like you get really tight deadlines and you get a very awkward sort of creative space to work within, and you hone your people skills or whatever, and you learn to deal with like Simon so nicely named them idiots. You need to you learn to deal with them. Suit and tie guys, and you learn a lot from it. Like it's a great learning process. I wouldn't say it's a great experience, but you get a lot of skills from it, and you learn how to complete or execute basically anything, and solve a lot of issues and that kind of stuff. I think that's one of the strong points from being like a sort of third-party developer going into your own stuff, is that you know that side of the business, and you've solved those issues. So if you get into any problems, you know how to solve them basically. While if you're like a indie studio, that will be a very harsh experience if you sort of get into that part of the business after being successful with an indie game, and thinking like growing your studio is a positive thing. You're gonna experience yourself and your life and work. Yeah.
I won't keep you guys here more. I'm just gonna ask one more question, and then if you guys want, we can wrap this up. But yes, since you talked a bit about Wolf's inspiration earlier, can you give us like inspiration behind all original PD characters? What they're based off and things like that.
Yeah, I remember the meeting, Simon. We had I remember like most of that, the reason why and everything. So actually, me and Simon who did that work, most of it, I think. The way I remember it, and of course we got a bunch of feedback from different people, as you do. Well, we did that work, so I think I can speak for. I think Simon can speak for that too. In general, it's I think more simple than people think. Like it's imagine if you're in a 4-player cooperative experience and then somebody is yelling out, you gotta get to the drill and. I'm out of ammo or low on health or whatever, I'm shot or they're coming this way and cops, I see one, blah, blah, blah. You need to quickly differentiate between the voices. So like voice texture, different voice qualities and tone of voice, dialect, all that stuff really matters. So that's the first objective we had is find 4 believable voices that are different enough without sounding comical, basically, and then go through like what kind of actors do we have access to? Because we weren't a big studio, we didn't have the money. We had to go with the best thing we could find, basically. So we sort of bootstrapped a lot of that stuff, also. I think, and to be honest, and then you write your stuff around whatever piece of quality you find. The reason why Wolf is in the game is, I guess, correct me if I'm wrong here, Simon, but it's
You're wrong.
oh damn it,
Wow.
that was quick.
No, sorry. Keep going.
He's lying. He's lying. No, but we needed sort of in the early start of it. You don't know your budget. You don't know how fast it's going to be, and you try to limit as much of the money you're spending as possible. And one of the things that we discussed was trying to have at least 2 actors like in the studio. That was like a positive thing, or very close to us. And Bane and another Robert is a fairly good choice, because then you can add dialogue to missions without having to go to like a voice recording studio and do all that work, you know, get the actors back in and do all that kind of stuff. So you do a lot of the work. You can iterate on it, and you can re-record, and you can add stuff, and then you can go back and do all the other actors in a bigger chunk, basically. But that also in combination with the fact that we did all the mock-up stuff, right, Simon, for Payday 1? Like we did most of the robberies.
Placeholder voices.
Yeah, placeholder voices. And then we had like a vote for which voices to use. And I think Wolf, for the Wolf character, mine ended up being voted by the team or something, or if that was for the sequel, I can't remember. I remember we had some sort of voting process at some stage, and I was sort of nervous they would pick me because I didn't really want to do it. It's fun, but it's like I don't consider myself like an actor, so I'd prefer to have some really good actor do it. But yeah, I can scream. That's good. I scream a lot. That's how I save my bad acting skills, basically.
Yeah, the community loves you guys, both Bane and Wolf. It's like the characters that people most like. So you guys did an awesome job, even though you weren't voice actors.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah, definitely. Because I've been playing Wolf since the heist, and it's like, damn, it's unfortunate that, you know, he's not going to be getting updates, but that's whatever. That's a whole thing. Everyone has their reasons. It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's complex. But, or not really. But I can't really talk about it right now, so it's...
Yeah, it's all good. You take the time
It's gonna
whenever
have to stay
whenever you're
like
ready.
it is.
Whenever
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
ready to talk about it, it'll be talked about.
But yeah,
We'll wait. I think we'll wait another year, maybe.
Yeah.
Until I take that up and actually speak about it. But I think from the experience, I think we learned one thing about the Wolf stuff is that like voice actors, since they live off their voice, they don't want to destroy their voice, right? So they might be able to scream, but they don't want to, because they're gonna like they won't be able to do that cool Pepsi commercial the day after, you know, and have their chocolatey smooth voice the next day, because it's just gonna be a fucking bloody mess. So that was my like big up I had on them. Like I could destroy my voice, and we could just wait a week and then just go into the studio and destroy it again. I think during that project, I noticed how my vocal cords sort of changed. So my voice is different now after Payday, the heist, than before. Because I had some sessions in there that was really, really brutal. And I don't think I have, like, I'm not equipped to do it from the start. Like some people can scream forever, and I don't think I can. So it would just break.
Well, Wolf is built on really well, because even Wolf being silent is part of the character now, because
Right.
it's just like so insane at times that even him being quiet, you know something's wrong. So it's not a big deal.
Or it's like when he
Well, that-
calls for characters. and he doesn't have voice lines for their name, it's like they're people he doesn't know. He's really not okay with addressing them properly, so just, hey, come with me, and let's get the job done. It works. It works so well in design.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. I guess that says more about my acting than the actor. It's okay when he's silent. That's awesome.
Oh, it's not that. It's how it's built, but yeah.
Yeah. But that's good then. It's not destroying the gameplay. That's
Oh, not at all.
yeah,
Not
that's
for us,
cool.
anyway.
Yeah, perfect. Everybody's happy.
Let's say something, Philip.
I think we've taken up a lot of their time.
I think they've got time.
We are really glad that you guys joined us. But
I feel like I've been talking too much, and Simon hasn't been able to say much. So I'll be quiet, and you can ask him sometime.
I'm
Ask him
happy
something
to save
interesting.
my voice.
It saved my voice. My voice needs my beauty sleeper. Or
He's gonna sell out. He's gonna sell out with Coca-Cola tomorrow.
He needs his chocolate voice tomorrow.
What does that mean? Hurry.
Chocolate voice.
Content confirmed.
What?
what?
No, nothing's confirmed. I just made a joke.
Well, the joke. Yeah, he's also making a joke. So you're making jokes in circles right now. Interesting.
I'm looking at the chat go and
Yeah.
Simon's just sending codes and people asking for codes.
Yeah, I'm making it rain here.
Yeah.
It's crazy how fast they go. Yeah.
Oh yeah. People are on this shit, man. Someone from Overkill came by earlier and dropped a ton of like the Alienware masks that are super hard to get a hold of, and they were gone in an instant.
Yeah. I guess someone has some kind of a script that just copies and pastes the code into Steam or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's bots.
I honestly wouldn't be too surprised. The amount of effort people put into this type of stuff.
Also, one last question for Simon. What's your favorite music style? Lego music style? Like a genre?
Oh, there's no particular style really. I love electronic music, but I really appreciate other styles of music as well. What I can say is that the first type of music that I started listening to when I was old enough to kind of build my own opinion about music and not just listen to whatever my parents were playing, or something like that. When I was in my early teens, I started listening to grunge, so Pearl Jam and Stone Temple Pilots and Soundgarden and Alice in Chains and those bands in the early '90s. I really, really loved, that music, and it became kind of the soundtrack to my teenage years. So that music will definitely stay with me for the rest of my life. But since then, of course, I've started, appreciating a lot of other styles of music, like drum and bass and house and different electronic types or genres. So, but it's impossible to pick one genre really. I just enjoy good music,
I know you love the polka.
Yeah.
Like Weird
Everybody
Al
loves polka.
Yeah, Simon keeps changing. Like he likes different stuff, but like the Weird Al polka is something that always resurfaces during.
I got to see
crunch.
I got to see him live last summer.
Oh, you did.
No, it was this summer, right?
I don't know. The polka
It
made
Must
me-
not have been very memorable.
I vined about it. I don't recall. It's
The, The polka melts your mind. It's like a gateway drug to heavier stuff like country or stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'm
You
deep
get
in the
into
rabbit hole.
European pop, and then you lose all sanity.
Yeah. By the time you listen to polka, you're already weird, and then it goes deeper, I guess.
Yeah, it does. Trust me on that one.
Ulf is actually the one who got me into hip hop. I'm not huge on hip hop, but I listen to some hip hop. Ulf introduced me to
Busta Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Busta Rhymes. I used to listen to a lot of Busta Rhymes, and I grew up on Wu-Tang stuff, which is weird for like a white Swedish boy, but I listened to a lot of Wu-Tang and grunge also, grunge and rock like Guns N' Roses and Metallica. Yeah, I listened to a lot of stuff, and then
Someone's asking.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say someone was asking about the N-word. If you listen to the N-word.
Of course I do. They're awesome. Ninja is
They're
like the best
batshit.
thing. Yeah, they're really good. Like most of that music, if you look away from the video, if you can, most of the music is actually very good. I think, like especially the ones they pick for the videos, they are really good. Like some songs, like on their albums, are shit, but like most of their like mainline stuff is really good. I think.
Yeah. Well, what's good about it though is that at the end of the day, the stuff they make is what they like, and that's what's important.
I guess so. Or is it a marketing stunt? I don't know. I
That's
don't give a
true.
fuck. Yeah, I don't give a fuck actually. I think it's cool stuff. It's at least somebody's making that stuff. I'd rather listen to that than well, most other things, I guess. Yeah, sorry for stealing Simon's question again. I keep doing that. I suck. This one I actually had a lead in on. The other one I just took over. So
Simon's
sorry,
just a
Simon.
voice in your head.
Yeah, actually, there's just one of us, or two inside of. There's only one guy actually.
Yeah. Have you ever heard Ulf and I actually speaking on top of one another? We might be the same dude.
We just might be the same dude.
But yeah, do you guys have any definite?
One of us. One of us.
Okay. But yeah, do you guys have like any style or genre that you guys are thinking for your upcoming game in terms of music? Or you don't want to discuss so far?
The music is definitely going to be great.
Greatest reddest polka.
That's the genre. Great music. No, but
polka horror. That's the genre.
You ever been chased by a clown?
It happens. Like only when I pay for it.
All right.
I've been chased by cops dressed as a clown.
Oh shit.
No, I'm kidding. I haven't. That sounded actually
That's a Payday
really
reference.
Yeah, or that sounded really disgusting. Actually, sick almost. Yeah. But Simon, you have some idea, right? I mean, we got some stuff.
Oh yeah, I do.
You
I've started playing around with ideas and yeah, it's always a matter. It was the same with Payday. Like when we started making Payday, I was like, okay, what can I do? Or rather, what does this game demand, and what can I do, and how can I make those two, come in contact with one another? Like something that would fit the game, and that I can do really well. And I was considering doing pure rock. I was considering doing pure like Hollywood style music, but I didn't feel that I could do it well enough. So I went with something more electronic, and that's so that became the soundtrack for Payday, Payday the Heist. And it's the same now. Like, but what I can do changes from year to year because I learn and I look forward to new types of challenges that I want to take on. And also, of course, every new project demands a different type of music depending on what the atmosphere is in the game and what the game is about. So yeah, it's going to be something new. It's definitely going to sound like something from me, I suppose, because I have my own style. But it's going to be different because it's a different project. So I guess I'm going to leave you guys with a little bit of a cliffhanger. Like I'm just gonna. That's all I'm going to say about it, really.
Yeah, no
But
problem.
it's something to look forward to.
Yeah, I think also we're sort of in the sort of feel out period of development, so you shouldn't. I mean, we shouldn't say too much because it might not be true in like next week. So we'll see when we get there. I guess like most of the stuff, most creative stuff.
Yeah. You have to always be careful with what you say, or it ends like No Man's Sky.
Yeah, how
Oh,
did
no.
I've missed it. What happened to that? Like, what's the word on No Man's Sky?
I think it was supposed to have co-op and have a really small chance of players finding each other due to how big
Yeah.
it is, but I think they scrapped the multiplayer idea completely. They even
Oh.
removed it from their boxes, game
Oh,
boxes, that there wouldn't be a multiplayer, and now some are suspecting it's a server error, other people are just suspecting that it launched without a multiplayer.
oh, so it has a multiplayer option in the menu?
Apparently. No,
No.
the way it works, it's basically like you'd enter in this one, I don't know what it uses, but you'd go into different areas of this map,
Oh,
and you could run into other players, and people have went to
but
the
you
same
don't.
location but never found each other, and they were like, what the hell? What went wrong here?
People
Oh, okay.
even got on the same planet and on the same place, and for one would be day, the other one would be night, and they wouldn't be able to see each other. So a lot of
Yeah.
people are now kind of unhappy about No Man's Sky.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's sad. I think it's really cool what they did with the world generation and stuff like that. I think that was really progressive and cool. Um, but it's always tricky when it's like, yeah, hyping stuff is just tricky. Like when it's not hyping itself, you're saying stuff and it doesn't hold true, or you change stuff during development, but you can't, like, you forget to, or intentionally don't communicate that to the audience. That's a very dangerous thing. Hopefully they didn't do it on purpose. You know, you gotta at least give them the benefit of a doubt. Like it doesn't feel like a studio that would do that because they wouldn't benefit them. I think that's just a human error right there.
Well,
Probably,
it's... Sorry?
probably. Like, yeah, I'd be surprised if it was like a strategy they have. That'd be weird.
Well, in interviews with one of the guys who worked on the game, like, it was brought up many times, multiplayer, and he was always really iffy about it, and he made it clear that it was like a very small chance that you'd actually find somebody in multiplayer. But the fact
Oh,
is,
okay.
they said it could happen, and people were like, no, it doesn't.
Okay. Yeah. I guess that makes it a very small chance, though.
I guess it
That'd
does.
be like, it develops like an AI and rewrites the code and fixes all the server issues. Then you probably will meet somebody. There's a very small chance. But it's still a sliver of a chance. But it looks like a really cool game. I haven't had the time to play it, but I've heard that it's pretty cool.
I think it's funny that Faded sent out a tweet like 12 minutes ago that we were happy to have you, as if you were supposed to be gone.
Yeah, well, we
No.
never leave. We're that kind of people. You know, we get into your house and just eat your food and shit in your toilet and don't clean and, you know, use up all the toilet paper and sleep with
then
your
you make them
girlfriend.
pay rent.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a wild.
No, it's
You know,
just one of the things I'm fun.
I guess.
Have you guys played Starbound? Someone's asking.
Starbound. What's that?
I have no clue.
Yeah. I guess I answered the question by saying, "What's that?" So
Yeah.
Starbound.
My answer
I
is the same. I've never heard that.
I've gotten pretty far into Hyperspace Light Drifter. What's the name of the game? Hyperspace, something like that.
Hyperlight Drifter.
Hyperlight Drifter. Yeah, Hyperspace Light Drifter. That's a long title. Hyperlight Drifter. That's pretty cool. Like I like that game for some reason.
Disaster Peace did a really good job with the music on that one too. I played I played too on the PS4.
Yeah. I see questions I can't answer, and I don't think Simon can answer them. Oh, I could. But
I
I'm
know
not
which
gonna.
one you're talking about. I know which one you're talking about, and let's just not.
Yeah, give it some time, man. I'll answer it in the future sometime.
But yeah, just those types of questions will most likely not be answered. So, to the people in the chat, yeah, there's also also a small reason behind Painted Eyes being a really good game that we're playing it in the background. But yeah,
Could you have been any more like nonchalant about that?
no, maybe.
Are you suggesting we wouldn't play Payday the Heist otherwise?
No, I said it was a great game before it. Didn't you hear it?
I'm kidding.
Yeah. I like Payday Ice. I mean, Payday 2 is really good. Like on when I released when I was part of the game. I enjoyed it, playing it. I mean, I had a lot of fun with it. But I was like, I was off that project basically, or slightly before even. I think it was. So I have a lot of knowledge, but I take no responsibility. I can take responsibility for all the shit decisions made on Payday 2, the base game, but like I can't do on the DLC stuff or all the other decisions.
Right.
Responsibility, at least. I know why most of the stuff, decision-wise, was taken, I think, but I'm not gonna speak about that.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally cool.
Sorry,
That's
sorry,
understandable.
sorry. Yeah, some other time.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
It's all good.
As far as like the people go, answers will come in time. That's it.
Yeah, if they matter at that point. I mean,
Yeah.
Rainbow Six Siege. That's a question. I haven't played. Like I started it, but I want to play it with a couple of dudes. So I'm looking for people to play it with actually right now. So I'm gonna try to.
Oh, if I wasn't streaming for the next 24 hours, I would join you on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna play it right now, but I'm maybe like next week or something like that.
What's that sound? Is that the NDA police? Someone said that in the chat. That's funny.
In the NBA police. Yeah, yeah. You could, I guess so. You could say that if there's a police for that, most definitely.
Probably more of a, like, don't burn more bridges than necessary police or something.
No, but I mean, there's some there's some stuff. I respect a lot.
Dude, you're gonna be vague about it. You're gonna be vague. It's not worth talking about.
You know what I'm just saying. You know, I respect a lot of people who still work on the game. So I don't want to,
of course,
saying stupid because I'm hurting people I respect. You know.
Of course.
So I don't want to go into that. That's basically it.
But yeah, do you play the PvP aspect of Siege or just the co-op?
No, I want to play the co-op.
Oh, okay.
That's my kind of stuff.
That's also mostly what I play as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't even, like, I started it, looked at the menu and just went like, fuck it, I want to have a full team. And then I shut it off. So I'm gonna have to play that someday as quickly as possible. But maybe we can hook up and play it together somehow. We'll sort it out.
Sure, sounds good.
That's a good offer. Don't turn it down.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
I'm telling you, April likes to team kill. He likes to team kill, be warned.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, sure. Wow. But yeah, I just rarely team kill, but it's out of good fun. In the sense of like, when people start flashing me and shooting me, I just like give the same coin, let's just say that.
So they actually got friendly fire in that game?
Yes. Even the co-op.
How's that working, like friendly fire?
So, if I'm not mistaken, you do half the damage that you do normally to teammates. And yeah, you'll most likely down them. And when they go down, you can pick them up, or you can just shoot them more and they just die. However, headshots in that game is a one-hit kill, so yeah. It's kind of one of those tactical kind of games where you have to be really careful about your aim, because you can just kill a teammate. It's a fun game.
But it's still playable. I mean, people don't just shoot each other.
Oh no, it's playable. She was making a joke about that because sometimes when we are like 20 maps in, we just start kind of get bored and we just like start a PvP against all of us and things like that on the co-op. But it works out well, and people usually on multiplayer they are really serious about it.
Yeah. Cool.
I got once into a game with like this guy that was relaying any information on the microphone, like it was a legit SWAT operation. It was pretty funny.
I'm seeing this level being played. There's some cool trivia here. You know the game Hammer? Let's see, Hammerfall. Hammerwatch. Yeah. Do you know the game? Cooperative game, Hammerwatch?
Oh yeah.
The guy
Absolutely.
the guy who
Mira,
that game,
yeah, was that Overkill?
he made this map. He's a level designer. He made this map. He didn't make all the art, but he designed this map. This guy. Hipshot. This is usual Quake nickname. But it's Jokum that's his real name. Really good level designer in general. Really cool dude. There's a lot of good people who's been involved in this, making this project.
I played Hammerwatch when it was released, and I even streamed it. It's a really fun game.
Yeah.
But I started deviating from it because my main likes in games is usually first persons.
Yeah, I think it's a cool game. Really impressive. Like it's made by two guys, most of it. But it's one programmer from Overkill and one level designer from Overkill.
I think I gotta go to sleep because I gotta get some rest. I'm gonna
Absolutely.
be woken up
shit.
by kids in a couple of
All
hours,
right.
and I'm sick, so I need a little bit of sleep.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for
no
joining
problem.
us.
Thank you for joining us. Thank your brother as well. I'm not sure if he's still on the chat, but it was really nice having both of you. And Wolf, I'm not sure if Wolf will still stay or if we'll take the advantage and take his leave.
I can stick around if you need me, but otherwise I'll go to sleep.
Okay. And then
All right. What time is it over where you guys are at?
probably 1 a.m.
It's two actually.
2 a.m.
Holy shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I'm sorry that we kept you guys up all this time.
It's cool.
Yeah. Thanks for
Thanks
stopping
for
by.
being here. So to Ulf and Simon, thanks so much for the cap, and thanks so much for the donation, Simon. It's going towards 4.5 lives.
Hmm?
We'll
Thanks
round up
for
to
having
half.
us.
No
Get well
problem.
soon,
It was
man.
our pleasure.
Cool.
Thank
See you
you.
guys around, and good luck with the rest of the 36-hour stream. What is it? 17 hours to go.
Around 20
One of our
something.
viewers. One
Are
of
you
our
gonna
viewers
sleep?
wants to know if he can add you on Steam.
Are you taking turns? Anybody sleeping, or are you just going for 17 more?
Oh, yeah, we have like this schedule changes, and hopefully I'll be able to get 4 hours of sleep between today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it's all for a good cause, and I don't mind it.
Yeah. Should be fine.
Yeah.
Don't die on us.
Yeah,
I'll
please
try.
don't die.
No. Because then Simon's money will go to like less lives, I guess, because you're losing one in the process. So Simon's money
Oh,
is
yeah.
less worth, just because you go and fuck up and die. So Simon spent his cash. Think about Simon's cash before dying.
Absolutely.
I will.
Someone already came by and asked how they could donate coffee.
Oh, I'm
What?
gonna need it.
Someone was like, how can I donate coffee to the Kraken Team?
The funny thing is, we do have a holding area where they can ship it to.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's funny. We do. We have a physical address.
But no, we're not taking donations for
Yeah,
coffee. just
don't
to be
send us
clear.
coffee.
Please don't send us coffee.
Or anything else.
Thank you for that thought, but
No meth. No meth or no coffee, right? Meth and coffee is not okay.
Yeah.
meth we could.
No
Coffee-
anthrax.
Yeah,
Anthrax.
anthrax might not be nice to deal with.
Anthrax and lemonade. That's your usual Friday night. But
I don't know
cool.
about
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
And I'll
Thanks for being
stop,
here.
Really appreciate the time that you guys took, and I guess I'll see you guys another time. So,
Yeah.
Absolutely,
awesome.
and we're looking forward to your new game. So
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
we're going to
me too.
we're going to stalk you until you tell us more.
Yes.
It's going to be on Steam, right?
It's gonna be on Steam, most definitely.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Cool. Have what do you say? Have a nice stream,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, cool.
Have a good night.
And good luck. Yeah,
Have a
thank
great
you.
good night. Good night.
Sleep tight when the stream is over.
Don't
I'll
let
try.
the Twitch spikes bite. Or what do you say nowadays? What do the kids say?
Bed bugs.
We say don't let the Zaltos
Twitch.
bite.
Zaltog.
Wow. Oh, but yeah, bad bugs.
Zaltog's one of our viewers. He's notorious for for like being a troll.
Oh. I was born a troll, I guess. I have no choice in the matter. Okay, I'm gonna hang up now.
Sure.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye.
So
Have a nice one.
See ya.
you too.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Simon.
See you, Simon. What lovely guys.